I'm Ola'pi from Ola'pi Creative, and welcome to Conversations by Water, a weekly Facebook live stream where we sit waterside with wave makers to share unfiltered, intimate, and inspiring conversations exploring what it takes to drive change locally and globally. Our mission is to create a ripple effect and empower you to affect change in your lives and communities too.
70% of the surface of planet Earth is covered in water. Also, our brain, our heart, and our lungs consist of 70% water.
That's the epitome of what the ocean is to me. It's just like my heart and soul, and it's love and it's connection.
It was something that was going to stick with him for quite a while.
I mean, read lots of books. Books will motivate you. Experience things. Experiences will motivate you. Watch interviews like this.
And I have to say, being able to go out and make an impact.
How many people do you interact with every day? You can be a change maker for all of those people.
Now it's time for us to say, okay, everybody's had their chance. Now it's time to say, we're ready. We're going to kick it off, and we're going to start making our beach the most environmentally friendly.
The faster you're going to fall in love with water, the longer and happier you're going to leave.
We love water! We love you! Thank you!
Welcome to Conversations by Water. You're here with me, Ola'pi, and I'd like to welcome you all to this new season of Conversations by Water. And today I am under the 17th Street Bridge here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And we're trying something new this season where we're actually going to be interviewing folks doing a split screen. So this way we can interview folks that are from all over the country, across the country, and even around the world. So we're super excited about this wonderful technology that we have here so that we can bring more people to your attention and also bring more awareness to the kinds of really neat projects that are going on here in the world and around town that you all should know about. So we are super happy to be providing this kind of information for you all, and I'm really glad that you joined us. So, without further ado, I'm actually going to invite our guest to join with us today. So for the first episode of this new season of Conversations by Water, we went big, and we decided to ask Victoria Burgess to join us for this conversation. Let me set it up for you. She is an incredible water woman, pure water woman to the detail. If you were to look up what a water woman is, Victoria would be the definition of water woman. She has accomplished incredible things in her lifetime. She is from here in Florida, and she's accomplished something really neat most recently, which I'm looking forward to her sharing with us. So let's see if we can get her on board. So, there we go.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you well. How are you?
Good.
Great.
It's a bit windy out. Went to the beach, so.
I know. It is a bit of a windy day for us to be by water. But hey, you know that this is how we appreciate our water elements all the time, right? You know, you got to be cognizant of the conditions. Sorry, I'm just adjusting something here. So, okay. Victoria, welcome. Oh, look at that. You've got a friend.
Always have to photobomb.
Always has to photobomb. Yes, hi, we see you too. You're just as special. Well, okay. I'm back on track. There we go. This is great. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm super excited.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, first off, let us know where you're coming from. Where's your water?
Okay. Well, right now I'm in Fort Lauderdale Beach, as you can see in the background. We hang out here a lot. We're on the Fort Lauderdale Strip. It's kind of closer near the north end, and we do a lot of workouts here and paddling and surfing and stuff, so I figured to come here. Actually, I haven't been to the beach since the whole red tide thing, so this is the first time back in about a week and a half. So.
Yeah, I hear you. How you feeling over there?
It feels fine.
No coughing. Right, no respiratory distress. That's good. So, so that area where you are is just for those people who are local. That's just north of Sunrise, in front of Hugh Birch Taylor Park, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yep.
So Victoria, I'm so excited to have you on board. You're pretty legit. I mean, I've been putting it out there that you're pretty legit, but you know, we'll get into exactly why you are very legit. But I mean, I would love to get to know you a little bit better. We've known each other kind of on the periphery through Surfrider Foundation in Broward, and of course, just through a mutual love of water. We have a lot of water friends. But let me know a little bit more about you. Where are you from? What is your water story? What is your first memory with water?
Okay, well, I grew up here in South Florida. My family moved here when I was 5, so I grew up in the area, kind of like near Fort Lauderdale, Lighthouse Point, actually. I didn't really surf until I was 20, but I spent some time in the water, like sailing and just romping around, you know, with my friends and everything like that. But I didn't really get on a board until I was like 19, 20, paddling around prone, and that's when I started surfing. So I kind of had a bit of a later start than most people think. But yeah, so that's kind of like where I started with in the water, and I just kind of fell in love with it instantly, and just grew from there pretty much. I joined a surf club, a trespass surf club, when I was 20. We did all sorts of things. We started Surfers for Autism, all that stuff. I was really into and it totally grew from there. And I was around a whole bunch of really awesome watermen and women that really taught me a lot about the ocean and surfing and everything like that. And that's pretty much where I'm rooted from. So.
Yeah, and it's so amazing. I mean, how much you learn when you actually spend all that time on water. I mean, just being able to read the waves, read the waters, being able to be part of the condition. I mean, for you, what was it? What was that element? What was that thing that made you really fall in love and really connect to water?
Well, you know, at first when I started surfing, it was just really frustrating. I spent probably a good year, like not even catching a wave, I'd say. And I just kept going out. Like no matter what, I would go out and I keep trying and trying and trying. And I learned how to fall really gracefully. But that really hit the spot was when I caught my first wave, and I remember it till today. And just the feeling that you get when you're on the waves and everything like that, it's really hard to describe, and that kind of hooked me. So.
And it's funny, I mean, because through the whole idea of Blue Minds, you know, as you know, I talk a lot about it, but it's so important because when you feel that connection to water, it is like nothing else. And suddenly the rest of the world seems to kind of fade away. All your problems seem to fade away. And you really are one with nature. That's how I describe, you know, what it's like being on the water, whether it's paddleboarding or surfing or kayaking. It really is being super in tune with just the fluidity and the rhythm of the water. So it's super neat. You all have to try it. I know there's a lot of water people out there, and you understand, but those of you who have not, you got to try it. So
for sure, definitely how to be present. I mean, it's real easy to get frustrated, but if you actually focus on what you're doing and try to figure out what's going on around you, you have to actually be present to do that. And it teaches you a lot about that and a lot about patience and everything. So.
And that's actually one of the things that you're such a great advocate for is the idea of try it, and the idea of, you know, really getting out there and doing your best, and whatever goal it is, you know, you can definitely accomplish. So we're talking a lot about these big dreamers. Tell us about, so you moved from, you know, actually competing and doing really well with paddleboarding here in Florida and outside of Florida that, you know, was apparently like very much like your thing, your sport. How did it get from that to this epic journey that you took? You know, it's no longer just doing 3-mile races. It's something enormous. So first, let our audience know a little bit about the crossing and, you know, the idea behind that and what made you start thinking in those terms, something bigger.
Okay, well, I started paddleboarding 5 years ago in September. That was when I started. So I started with racing, and I wound up, because of my athletic background, I think it kind of like took to me kind of quick, so I did pretty well. And it was a great way to stay in shape, and the community was awesome, so I got involved with that. But I was on the race scene for a good 3 years, I would say, and at a pretty high competitive level. And this last year, I decided to step off the race scene and kind of do a little bit more of navigational type of things because so over the last 3 years, I started doing some crossings in Hawaii, and they were actually crossing races. So it was a race mixed with navigation, and I kind of fell in love with, I mean, I'm an ocean person, so I really enjoy the ocean scene. A lot of the races are flat water, and unlike some of my competitors and at the level that I was heading towards, I worked full time, so it got to be like really difficult to just train to that level. So I decided, what can I do that I still would be involved in the sport and that will keep me in shape and something that challenges me and something that, I could accomplish still. And because I did those crosses, I did Molokai to Oahu in 2016. I did Maui to Molokai in 2017. So I was like, what can I do that's over here in these waters? Not those are in Hawaii. And that's when I started thinking about different channels to cross around here. And I found Cuba to Key West, which I had done some research on. I knew it was possible because Diana and I had swam it.
Right! I love her.
Yeah, she's awesome. Some of the paddlers here in Fort Lauderdale, the lifeguards, they've done it prone and like teams and such. So I was like, okay, well, that channel's doable. It's like 4 times longer than anything I've ever paddled, but the conditions. So it's kind of, I can train for this, and that's when I decided to go for it. So.
And it's funny that you say that it's doable, because how many tries did it take Nia to finally finish it? Maybe 4 or 5 tries?
That's totally different.
Yeah, swimming. I understand. Like I come from like a swimming background, so I mean, her accomplishment is outrageous. I love it. But I love how those of you who are at that kind of elite level, it's suddenly like, oh, well, I knew it was possible. I mean, like she just, she was finally able to do it. Really, this is a big deal. This is super neat. And also to give some perspective, how far were the crossings, the Hawaii crossings that you did?
The Molokai to Oahu was 33 miles, and Maui to Molokai was 27 miles. So yeah, they were a lot shorter, but they were also a lot more technical. The Molokai to Oahu race that I did, the seas were 10 foot. So I was dealing with like conditions with big waves and, just totally different things. And I would love to go out there again. It definitely takes a bit more training to do to be able to place like higher in that race. But just I was like, let me just try something in the waters I have here that I could train in during the week here and see if I can do this.
And so what does it take to train for something like this? I mean, I would imagine that you would need to be a full-time, athlete training for all of this, and, the amount of hours it must take, because at the end of the day, how long did it actually take you to do that crossing?
To do the crossing or to train for it?
Well, first to finish the crossing, and then we're going to backtrack to find out what it took to get there.
So it took me, to do the crossing, it was 115 miles total, and it took me 27 hours and 48 minutes straight.
Amazing.
Nonstop.
Right, straight, nonstop. And so how on earth do you train for something like that? And I mean, I imagine you obviously anticipated a little bit of what your pace could be, how long it may take, but how on earth do you train for something like that?
Okay, lots of paddling.
Just keep paddling. That's it. That's your mantra.
Definitely an ultra. I did a lot of research on ultra and training, and a lot of it came from cycling and running and such, because there's really not too much of it for paddling, and a lot of it falling back on nutrition. So that was a huge factor in our plan. As far as paddling goes, well, staying awake, I can stay awake. I've stayed awake for long periods of time because for the last 15 years, I've been a firefighter, and I was on shift for 6 of the year. So I've stayed up, 24 hours on, 48 hours off. So if we had calls in the middle of the night, I had to function. So I knew that the whole sleep thing, I would be stressed. It would be okay. So basically, I just built a plan for myself that was like a periodized plan where I had a solid base just from racing, and then I just built myself up longer distances, and I started doing hour trainings. So like I would go for like 6 hours. Like I didn't base it on the miles, I would base it on the hours. I would go for 12 hours. So I built until I reached the peak, and then it was time for the crossing. But yeah, a lot of I did a lot of cross training, running. I do CrossFit, and I added a lot of yoga in there because of all the paddling I was doing was making me super tight. So I had to become a little bit more flexible. So it definitely would be great to have that just be the full-time job, but I work Monday through Friday, 7 to 4. So I kind of had to jam it in lunch and after work. So.
And that's incredible. I mean, that was actually, I think, one of the big points that you were trying to make is that, you are a regular person with an incredible athleticism, incredible endurance, but as far as your hours go, you have the same work hours that a lot of other people have, the same kind of work schedule, the same kind of life. You have a partner in life that you can't totally ignore all the time. Although he also likes to share time on water, so that helps.
He doesn't really like paddling that more, though.
Right.
Surf instead.
It just kind of goes to show that, a big dream doesn't also have to come with a big lifestyle change either. I mean, obviously there's the training and the nutrition portion that you were talking about, but it's not like suddenly you have to quit your job, move across country, and do this big thing to have a big dream.
Right. No, totally. What I found out from this and from a lot of different things that I've done is it really all comes down to planning and how you plan. Every Monday I sit down and I at least spend an hour doing planning on my week, and even now with just regular stuff. So I have, I always make a plan for everything and I try to stick to it. And I think that that's the way you can accomplish things. Otherwise you're like all over the place, especially here in Florida. There's so much on, that it's easy to get distracted.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for you then, what is a daily non-negotiable, something that you cannot miss, that's your go-to for helping you be this really productive, really, amazing water woman?
Like what?
So do you have some kind of habit that you practice every day that I cannot go without my morning coffee, or, I have to have this quiet time in the morning, or great, gratitude at night, or is there anything like that you practice?
I definitely have to have coffee in the morning, and sometimes I could drink a whole pot actually. But I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of a random person, so I don't have I'm really good with planning, and I'm pretty good with making myself do the things I've planned, but I don't have a strict schedule per se. If there's waves, I'm probably gonna blow everything off and go surf. So I figure out ways I can move things around if things happen, but still stick to my plan.
Right.
But I'm not as structured as some people are, but I figure out ways to make up for it later.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It'd be different if I didn't have to go to work every day, because I would be, I basically wake up, have coffee, eat my breakfast, and go to work. So, everything else that I was supposed to work out today at lunch, but I was really tired because I had some tooth work done yesterday, and so I took that instead. So, I kind of just go with how my body feels, and I think that's a lot of times we neglect that, and that's when we start seeing repercussions from it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting too. I mean, obviously it's a good thing to be working out, to be spending time on water, but that nutrition component is huge. And especially when you're doing something at the level that you're doing it. I think I read somewhere that you consumed maybe 7,000 kilocalories during your crossing.
7,000 calories.
Amazing. But what was your favorite meal?
My favorite meal wound up being pasta Alfredo.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
And cookies. I got to eat a lot of cookies.
Other benefits of doing these ultra races, you get to eat a lot of cookies.
Oreos or anything. So when I was training for this, I got to try out all the new brands of flavored Oreos they have.
Yeah, they have all of these thin ones and different flavors now. That's really funny. So, the crossing was an incredible accomplishment. As a matter of fact, you have earned yourself the Guinness Book of World Records for the fastest crossing on paddleboard through the Florida Straits from Cuba to Key West. That is outrageous. That is such a neat accomplishment to add to your list of what you've already done and what I imagine you have coming up. But this was also really part of a bigger mission. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Okay, yeah. So being a female athlete my whole life, when I decided I wanted to do this, and of course, I wouldn't be able to do this without support from the community and my sponsors and everything. And I feel like if I'm going to get support, I should be supporting, something that I believe in as well. So I wanted to do that to raise awareness for women in sport, just because of I've been in sports my whole life and being a female, and I really feel like it's sometimes, especially in water sports and especially here in Florida, it's there's not too many females out there that are in the water and surf and paddle and everything. So I've been trying over the last couple of years to get people and females more involved in that in general. And I just figured, this would be a good cause. And I found the Women's Sports Foundation when I was searching for a foundation that did what I was looking for. It was awesome because I never knew about them. And yeah, we kind of connected, and it was cool because they were able to spread the word, and hopefully it reached a lot of girls out there. So yeah.
As it continues.
What's up?
As it continues to reach a lot of girls out there.
Yeah, definitely. And it actually wound up reaching a lot of younger girls, which is really cool. I wasn't expecting that, but it's been great.
Yeah, I mean, I so appreciate that you did tie this incredible event, this incredible experience to something bigger, to something that's more purposeful. I mean, we all have this really great ability to make a bigger difference in the world in the way that we best know how. And this was obviously, your best way for contributing and bringing awareness to women in sports. And so thank you so much for being this incredible wave maker. I mean, it's super true. Everything that you're doing is really super inspiring. And you never know who is paying attention. Like you said, I mean, you were surprised to see that there was a lot of younger girls who were looking up. And, it's people don't really see what's possible until other people are doing what is possible. And so you are definitely that person paving the way. So thank you for that.
No problem. Yeah, I mean, I'm not around kids much, but from this I've learned that, kids do still look up to people as role models. And it's really important that we create a positive outlook and just be a good leader for them because they are watching us for sure. I had no clue.
Yeah, now a lot more eyes have got you. That's great. That's great. So what is something that you learned from this experience? What was an incredible takeaway that you got from the Cuba crossing?
I mean, I pretty much found out a lot about myself and as far as like not giving up. Not saying that I give up easy, but I haven't been in many times where I've actually like really wanted to stop something and actually had to talk myself out of it. And that was probably like one of the first times where I actually had like a deep like internal discussion with myself to get through it. Usually I just put my head down and go, so this time I actually kind of had a conversation of, to keep going. Are you, what's wrong? Are you dying? No, you can keep going. Nothing's wrong with you. Why would you stop? And it was actually like a back and forth with myself it probably only lasted a minute, but it felt longer.
Yeah.
So I basically learned, that, I mean, if you put your mind to something, you can get it done, and you just can't make excuses for yourself. You just got to keep pushing through it no matter what, and you'll get there.
And I think the really a neat thing about it too is that you also had an incredible support crew there with you. And so you were doing 98% of the work, and maybe that last 2% was that support crew that really helped you through.
Yeah, my support crew was amazing. I couldn't really have done it without them. Yeah, they're awesome. They had everything I needed ready. They were there for any kind of support that I needed. Yeah, I just knew that no matter what happened, I could depend on them, and just having that feeling of them being there, it helped me do my job easier. I didn't have to worry about anything like that. So.
Oh, that's so beautiful. So what do you have on the horizon? I mean, you did just come back from a well-earned vacation to Hawaii, right?
Yeah, we just went to Hawaii. My boyfriend's parents from Hawaii, so we try to visit them every year. But yeah, we went over there and got some waves, so that was nice. I have some things planned for the future, maybe in the next year or two, but it's still kind of in the building phase, so I'm kind of keeping it on the low right now. But yeah, we are planning some stuff. It should be good.
That's exciting.
I got to get back in shape now.
Well, I want to finish off with one final question for you, and that is, what is your favorite part of what you do? For being on the water, for having this connection with water, what is your favorite part about that connection and about being this amazing paddleboarder and just having developed this relationship to water? What does it mean to you?
I mean, pretty much the ocean is my life. So I really enjoy the fact that I can share the ocean with a lot of the people that I love, like my friends and family and such. And I think that it's awesome because we all have that same connection, and it's the ocean and the water has kind of brought us together in that way. So yeah, I guess, I don't know.
Oh, well, thank you so much for spending this time with us today on Conversations by Water. You are truly such a hero to so many people. And I mean, you really are such a beautiful light in this world, and somebody who is showing us that all things are possible just with good old fashioned hard work and a real true dedication and a love for what you're doing. So thank you so much for showing us that way. It's a beautiful story.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's been super fun.
Can't see. I know people were logging. Hi, Lisa. I know people were logging on, but I can't see because it's bright out here.
Oh yeah, so I was just going to mention that. So we so appreciate those of you who have joined us for this live Conversations by Water interview. We're actually going to stick around for another minute here and answer any questions that you may have. Just go ahead and post your question in the comments section, and we'll be available on hand to answer those. And you know, just thank you so much for watching. The reason why we do these Conversations by Water interviews is to show you all of these incredible people who are doing really neat things for our environment, on the water, through their connection to water. And we just want to be able to inspire you all to build your own connection to water and show you that it's really important. It feels really good, makes us happy. And we're all one big blue-minded happy family over here. So, well, guess what? I really look forward to spending more time with you. We're actually going to be putting together some awesome water-oriented meetups here in the future so that more of us water folks can actually get together, buy water. Perhaps there may be some liquid beverages involved. But we want to make sure that we bring everybody together because we have this awesome community here in South Florida with really inspiring people. So again, thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you again next week on a new episode of Conversations by Water. In the meantime, create something meaningful. Go spend some time by water and be happy. Thanks again. We'll see you all next time. Thank you.